Oh man, I could really go for some salties right now.
Throughout the years, snack and beverage companies have introduced hundreds, if not thousands of new products. Usually this is done either to expand their lineup with more options, or in other cases, spark the curiosity of customers by offering unique or often bizarre options for a limited time. And while some of these products end up getting etched in the minds of many, others would slip through the cracks of public consciousness, only for them to be brought up in conversation many years later, such as with this video you so happen to be watching right now. Hey, it's me, Luis. About a year ago, I uploaded 2 iceberg videos about discontinued food and snacks, and well, I thought, why not revisit this topic once again? A lot of you have been asking for a part 3, so I guess you can consider this that, but without the iceberg layers. I'll just be picking them randomly and save some of the more interesting and often infamous ones for last. So grab a snack and get comfy, because this is episode 6 of Discontinued Nostalgia, Discontinued Food and Snacks, sponsored by Aura. That's right guys, we're finally sponsored. Have you ever thought about the number of spam calls or texts you receive each day? Ever found yourself second guessing whether a message was real or not? It could happen to anyone, including me. With countless data breaches happening all the time, chances are your information is floating around online. Just a few weeks ago, I nearly avoided a potential scam. I received a call from someone claiming to work for the Chicago Tribune saying that my card had been declined. As a regular user of the Tribune and other online newspapers for my research, I initially believed that this was legitimate. However, I soon noticed some red flags and hung up when they began asking for my personal information. It was a close call, but I escaped unharmed. While I escaped that situation unscathed, anyone waiting for an important call could unknowingly become a victim of identity theft, and that's where today's sponsor, Aura, comes into play. Aura's data broke opt-out feature helps remove your personal information from websites, decreasing the number of spam calls and texts you receive. The less of your data that's exposed, the less likely you are to get spammed. And that's not all. Aura offers identity theft protection, monitoring your personal data, including your social security number, to alert you about potential breaches. Their financial fraud protection also notifies you within minutes if someone tries to open a credit card or loan in your name. But that's not all. Aura goes above and beyond with its comprehensive protection. It includes antivirus protection, a VPN, and a password manager, providing multiple layers of online security. With Aura, you can rest assured that your information is safe and secure. Your information is valuable and deserves to be protected. If you want to safeguard yourself and your family, head over to aura.com/AmusingLuis to try Aura free for 2 weeks. That's enough time for Aura to check if your data is already exposed and help you start taking action. Don't leave yourself vulnerable. Sign up today and let Aura handle the rest. With that said, let's get on with the video.
Get back to your senses with a new way to snack. McDonald's Snack Wrap. Tender, all-white premium chicken breast meat with lettuce, cheddar jack cheese, and ranch sauce in a soft flour tortilla.
Kicking off this video is the McDonald's Snack Wrap, a fan favorite to many during its decade-long run. These were small, soft tortilla wraps featuring white meat chicken made from the also discontinued chicken selects, wrapped in lettuce, tomato, cheese, and ranch sauce. As the name suggests, the wrap was a snack-size option compared to other McDonald's menu items and was designed to satisfy your cravings rather than serve as a full-on meal. Despite its popularity, the snack wrap was discontinued in 2016 due to slow sales and it taking longer than other menu items to make in the product line. While the wrap was no more, other fast food restaurants like Burger King and Chick-fil-A have made their own versions of the wrap. But if you prefer the classic version of McDonald's snack wrap, you won't have to wait much longer. According to a 2023 report by USA Today, a new version of the snack wrap is expected to launch later this year as part of McDonald's expanded McCrispy line. So soon, we'll see the return of the king.
Electrifying, granola fire, simply nutritious, outrageously delicious. Kudos, I'm yours.
Holy crap, I honestly forgot about these. I can't remember if I had these or if I had like a Costco variant when I was a kid. Regardless, these were actually really good. Kudos were these granola bars, though calling them that feels like a stretch. These were more like Rice Krispie treats with a granola twist, drizzled in chocolate and sold as a quote-unquote nutritious snack. Originally launched by Mars Incorporated in 1986, Kudos came in 3 flavors, Nutty Fudge, Chocolate Chip, and Peanut Butter. However, as their popularity grew over the years, the company expanded the lineup to include varieties featuring Mars-branded chocolates like Dove, M&M's, and Snickers. Now, while the snack was often misinterpreted as a dessert, Kudos was relatively low in calories and sugar, making them a popular breakfast choice for many. But by the 2010s, the rise of healthier alternatives like Kind and Cliff Bars captured the market's attention. This shift in consumer preference led to a decline in sales, and by 2017, Kudos was officially discontinued. As someone who had these from middle school until my sophomore year of high school, I can vouch that these were pretty good for breakfast. Though I'll admit, over time I started getting tired of them, mainly because I had them a lot, so that might have been a reason for its sudden discontinuation. These days I'm absolutely crazy for those almond butter kind breakfast protein bars. Like, those are so good. I often eat like 2 or 3 a day. Don't tell anyone.
New pizzerias! Cranking with real pizza dough! Cheese, spices, radical grub!
Okay, these sound pretty delicious if I'm being honest. Pizzarias were chips designed to mimic the taste of pizza, but what set them apart from other snacks were their unique base. Instead of the usual potato or corn chips you see in the likes of Frito-Lay, these were made with real pizza dough coated with seasonings of tomato, cheese, and garlic. These came in cheese pizza, pizza supreme, and zesty pepperoni flavors. Just a year after these had launched, it was reported by Keebler that Pizzarias had become the company's most successful snack debut, generating over $75 million, and I could possibly see why. Despite their initial popularity, Pizzarias would remain a relic of the 1990s as it was discontinued before the new millennia. It's unknown why they were discontinued. My best guess is maybe they were difficult to produce, but overall, it really sucks that they're gone because I don't think I've seen other snack companies replicate this. Like, you have Pringles, Goldfish, and combos with their pizza flavor options, but those mostly rely on artificial flavoring, whereas Pizzeria use real dough and seasonings.
Most marshmallow alphabets and alphabets are part of this good-for-you breakfast. Both alphabet cereals are ABC delicious.
ABC Discontinued. Huge bummer. I'm sure this cereal had its longtime fans, but I never had it. Created in 1957 by Thomas M. Quigley, Alphabets were your typical corn and oat cereal of the era, but there was one twist. The pieces were shaped like letters of the alphabet. While the flavors were fairly bland, you could at least have some fun trying to spell words with the cereal bits.
Brian, there's a message in my alphabet. It says, ooh.
Peter, those are Cheerios.
The cereal would remain unchanged for the next 3 decades, when in 1990, they would introduce marshmallow alphabets, which were the same as the original, but now the vowels as well as the Y were colored marshmallows. By the mid-2000s, the original alphabets were pulled for the market, but later returned as a new and improved zero sugar option. Unfortunately, this reformulation didn't last long, and the cereal reverted back to its original recipe. Still, by the late 2010s, the nostalgic appeal of alphabets wasn't enough to sustain it, as many who grew up eating it had moved on to other options, and by 2022, after over 65 years, they would be discontinued. According to a tweet from Post Cereals, they explained that the reason Alphabets was discontinued had to do with how their operations are run. That being, when there's a lack of demand for a product, they end manufacturing to make room for the introduction of a new product. So yeah, oh well.
Hershey. Now that's chocolatey.
Here we have an entry for you chocolate milk enthusiasts. Hershey's Chocolate Milk Mix. The powdered mix to be exact. The other stuff is still around. Introduced in 1988 by the Hershey Company, this drink mix was said to taste exactly like Hershey's and is designed to be stirred into milk to create a rich chocolatey beverage. If you're familiar with Nesquik, it's basically that. While the beverage managed to have a cult following, in 2008, Hershey's would quietly discontinue the product after 30 years. I couldn't find an exact reason as to why this was done, but some claim that this happened primarily because the company decided to focus more on their chocolate syrup product line, which had been performing better than the powder. Yet, I think this was done due to budget cuts, as during this time, Hershey's opted to switch to less expensive ingredients in several of their products, most notably replacing cocoa butter with vegetable oil. This is how some formerly beloved candies like Kissables lost their charm when they were no longer marketed as milk chocolate. R.I.P. Sis.
Introducing new Dr. Pepper Berries and Cream. So rich, so creamy, with a hint of raspberries.
Dr. Pepper Berries and Cream, not to be confused with Dr. Pepper Strawberries and Cream. This was a limited edition flavor of Dr. Pepper, said to taste like raspberry and cream soda. Initially, this soda was part of Dr. Pepper's short-lived Soda Fountain Classics line, a series of beverages inspired by popular soda fountain drinks from the 1950s. The first release in this line, Dr. Pepper Cherry Vanilla, debuted in 2004 and enjoyed moderate success. Regrettably, the same couldn't be said for Berries and Cream. When this launched in 2006, the drink did not generate as much enthusiasm among consumers, and after only a few months on the market, it would be discontinued by 2007. Just as people were starting to forget about it, in 2022, Dr. Pepper announced the return of Berries and Cream in a limited batch. The only way people could obtain this legendary drink was if they signed up for Dr. Pepper's free rewards program, Pepper Perks, and submitted an entry to win, where only 582 people would be selected to win. Fortunately, if you want to experience this for yourself, you can still buy a can of this expired elixir for $200 on eBay.
The incredibly long-lasting Laffy Taffy.
Okay, so these are an oddity, but a pretty interesting novelty if I say so myself. I'm sure everyone knows what Laffy Taffy is, and if you don't, well, damn, I'm just gonna guess your teachers didn't like you. These were fruit-flavored taffy that came in a wide assortment of flavors such as cherry, strawberry, banana, green apple, and many other flavors. But in the 1990s, they would release a watermelon variety. What made this flavor unique compared to the others was that they came with these fake watermelon seeds, which gave the taffy small hints of a crunchy taste. By the 2000s, these were discontinued. Though the watermelon flavor isn't technically gone, the old version with seeds is no longer available. Interestingly, I have seen people on Etsy creating their own version with the seeds. If you trust buying candy from strangers, go right ahead. I'm not your dad.
Watch this.
Doritos X-13D has to be one of the most unique designs for a bag of Doritos. For starters, the entire package is completely black and it uses a simple font to label the flavor. The name X-13D also doesn't really provide any hints about the taste. To make it more eye-catching, the bag includes a label that reads, "This is the X-13D flavor experiment. Objective: taste and name the Doritos flavor X-13D. Receive additional instructions at snackstrongproductions.com or text X13D to 24477 chips." After people tried it, many described the flavor as tasting like a cheeseburger with a hint of pickle. Ill. While the bag had a weird name of X13D, the name was temporary as this whole campaign's purpose was to let customers try the mystery flavor and submit their suggestions for an official name. But despite generating significant interest, it's unclear if X13D ever received a permanent name. Some speculate that it might have been rebranded as Doritos Late Night All-Nighter Cheeseburger, which was released 3 years later in 2010. However, without confirmation from Doritos, this connection remains speculative.
You could almost taste the cheese, the peppers, even the tomatoes. They named them pizza spins. Can humans resist pizza spins?
Okay, not gonna lie, if you're Hispanic, at first glance you probably thought these were chicharrones, but no, they're completely different things. By the 1960s, pizza had become a mainstream favorite in America. Thanks to the rise of chains like Domino's and Pizza Hut, it just became the new hip thing to eat. This uprise in popularity would inspire General Mills to create their own pizza-based snack, and so in 1968, Pizza Spins were released. These were pizza-flavored crisp with oregano, parmesan, and pepper seasoning to give it a pizza taste. Unfortunately, this product wouldn't stay long, as by 1975, they would be discontinued. Although it's been 50 years since the product has been vaulted, there are Facebook groups to this day asking for General Mills to bring back this once iconic snack, which is kind of impressive if you think about it. I mean, it's been 50 years since the product was vaulted and people still want it to return. Never say never, guys.
Jif Power Ups feature a crave-worthy combination of creamy peanut butter and crunchy granola with the goodness that moms want and a taste that kids love.
These were a peanut butter-based snack introduced by the J.M. Smucker Company in 2018 and included a whole assortment of products such as creamy clusters, soft-baked bursts, and granola bars, each with their own variety of flavors. While the idea was appealing, reviews for the product were mixed, claiming that the peanut butter inside didn't really taste like actual Jif, and for not having a homemade taste to it. Because of this, the product wasn't enough of a success to justify its continuation. By February 2020, Jif Power Ups were officially discontinued. The J.M. Smucker Company claimed this was done to reallocate their resources into the products that would generate revenue, but ironically, this all happened just 1 month before the COVID lockdowns began, so even if this discontinuation hadn't been announced earlier, it's likely that Jif Power Ups would have faced the same fate regardless.
Long day? I've been there. Try these. Starburst hard candy. That burst of fruit juiciness is just what you need to get through your busy day.
New Starburst hard candy, smooth and round, a joyride for your mouth. Need a boost? Give it some juice.
Everyone is probably familiar with Starburst, and if not, well, they're these fruit-flavored taffy squares. Pink and red are probably the best, by the way. Anyways, while many associate Starbursts as soft candies first and foremost, in the early 2000s, they would flip the script and release Starburst hard candies. Basically, they were the hard candy version of Starburst, available in cherry, strawberry, orange, green apple, and a mystery flavor, presumably pineapple. Let's see what people had to say about this. I remember choking on one of these when I was 8, and yet I would still smash these alongside Jolly Ranchers. These things almost killed me on multiple occasions, but I still would eat the shit out of them. I thought for sure they got rid of them because they were a choking hazard. There isn't much recorded information about this product, including exact release and discontinuation dates. However, it's widely believed they were available from the very late 90s to the early 2000s, lasting about 2 or 3 years. The likely reason for this short-lived run is that hard candy has already developed a reputation as being a candy for older generations, and despite commercials trying to pitch it as hip, it didn't really resonate with younger audiences. The only hard candy I know that's hip with the youth are Jolly Ranchers, and even then they're being used for other reasons.
You
It's new Jello Pudding Bites. The great taste of pudding, ingrabbable.
Jello pudding bites were described as these soft bite-sized pudding chews that came in 2 variety flavors. According to people that tried these, many criticized the texture of the product being not as great, as well as it being tasteless, while others said that it tasted like weeks-old pudding. Ultimately, these would be pulled after a year on shelves. Word of advice, just bring back Jello pudding pops.
New Coca-Cola Life is sweetened with stevia and sugar. It has 36% less calories and great taste.
I'm sure most of my audience is old enough to remember Coke Life and how they tried establishing this as the 4th pillar of the Coke brand at launch. This lower sugar alternative to regular Coke was sweetened with a blend of cane sugar and stevia leaf extract, containing 35% fewer calories than classic Coca-Cola, almost like an in-between of regular Coke and Diet Coke. The drink was first test launched in Argentina in 2013 before rolling out globally in 2014. However, reception would be mixed, as some consumers found the taste unimpressive, while others criticized Coke Life's marketing as a healthy alternative, pointing out that combining stevia and cane sugar muddied the health-focused message, especially when Diet Coke and Coke Zero were already out on the market, offering no sugar at all. Additionally, the overall nature theme didn't feel authentic to many consumers. Coke Life just wasn't appealing to anyone, which was evident by its declining sales year by year. Also, I think another reason for the drink's sudden decline was Coke Zero's reformulation in the late 2010s, which had made the drink more popular throughout the years. This would obviously make Coke Life even more obsolete, as I could say that Coke Zero has become my new guilty pleasure. All in all, this beverage will be discontinued in 2020 as part of budget cuts related to the COVID-19 pandemic.
There's a brand new kind of snack chip with a brand new kind of crisp. Whoa! CC Ricer.
Crispy Crunchy Ricers, or CC Ricers for short, are chips made from crispy crunchy rice. Total surprise, I know. These were a snack created by the Keebler Company, and they claim to be one of the first rice-based salty snacks. Yeah, because, rice cakes weren't obvious enough. But another thing that made them stand out, though, was that they were gluten-free, which was kind of a rarity back in the 1990s. They would come in originally lightly seasoned, as well as cheddar and sour cream and French onion. But unlike other Keebler snacks, these just weren't as popular as the rest and would be discontinued by 1996.
Here come those busy grizzly bears. They start to get busy. They like to show you both their sides, and that's what makes them dizzy.
Dizzy Grizzlies definitely looked like something straight out of the 90s. I mean, just look at the box. Other than the box, these were essentially cinnamon-flavored Teddy Grahams, but with a twist. Each cookie had either chocolate or vanilla icing on the back, topped with sprinkles, and the cookies were designed to have an extreme sports vibe, so you had skateboarders, some BMXers, skateboarders, and rollerbladers. Unfortunately, these have remained a relic of the 90s and are no longer available.
Introducing me, Fingos! The wholesome new cereal made to eat with your fingers!
Well then, isn't this an interesting design? Fingos were cereal advertised to be eaten with your hands instead of a bowl, which is kind of a dumb marketing scheme because you could really do this with any cereal if we're being honest. The cereal was also larger in size, so they were slightly larger than regular cereal but not as big as a potato chip. The cereal will come in 2 flavors, that being cinnamon and honey toasted oat, as well as be available in a variety 6-pack. The people over at General Mills must have thought this could have been a great idea, and they would dump over $34 million in its first and only year for marketing, which was among the largest budget spent upon cereal at that time. As it turns out, this product didn't catch on. I guess eating cereal with your hand wasn't exactly a novel concept, and consumers would prefer using their favorite cereals rather than opting for a new alternative. It was also said that the reason for this item being pulled so fast was due to customers being confused on whether this was a snack or a breakfast item. With a name like Fingos, it just sounded like a brand of snack chips. So yeah, I could see why people were confused.
When cool bears want a snack, they eat Hostess Grizzly Chomps. Chocolate with sprinkles, tastes great. I know, cause I chomp every one. See? Hostess Grizzly Chomps cakes. I start them, you can finish them.
Okay, but why though? Whose idea was this to begin with? Grizzly Chomps were marketed as a cupcake with a bite taken out of them. The reason for the bite was because of an energetic cartoon bear entering the Hostess factory and taking a bite from the cupcakes on the production line. That's right guys, this treat has lore. Hostess even had the audacity to market these with the slogan, "We had the first bite, now you finish it." Nah, I'm good, thanks. I'm sure many didn't find the appearance of a partially eaten treat enjoyable, and after just a year, the Hostess company will call animal control and remove the bear from the factory, discontinuing the product altogether.
It's a delicious kid snack even a mother could love. New Incredibites. Send them snacking in a new direction.
Today, Incredibites are known as a Purina dog food brand, which might not sound very appealing. However, back in the 90s, they were quite a treat. Incredibites were a snack created by the Betty Crocker Company consisting of bite-sized granola sandwiches filled with creamy centers of flavors like chocolate, vanilla, and peanut butter. Many said these were indeed a treat, but sadly they didn't stay on the shelf for that long, and it's unknown why and when they were removed, but it's most likely they were axed by the mid-90s. Another interesting tidbit from this snack, Pixar, yes, that Pixar, are the ones responsible for creating the Incredibites commercial before they got big with Toy Story, so yeah, the more you know.
Pop chips. Light, crispy taste, less fat. Pop chips. Chips you'll love to pop.
So, believe it or not, when researching pop chips, I thought they were referring to these, but nope, this is a completely different thing. These pop chips were a hybrid snack combining the flavors of popcorn butter with the texture of chips. They were marketed as a healthier alternative to regular potato chips, boasting 60% less fat than the competition. Based on people who gave their input, many said they didn't taste that great, and that they had a similar taste to that of Bugles. Despite its mixed reception, pop chips would be in store shelves up until 2005 when they were discontinued, presumably due to the growing rise of kettle cooked and baked chips in the 2000s.
Peanut butter Boppers. It's creamy peanut butter, a crispy coating, and a whole lot more.
Nature Valley Peanut Butter Boppers were log-shaped peanut butter rolls coated in graham crackers and were available in 5 varieties: Peanut Butter Crunch, Honey Crisp, Fudge Chip, Cookie Crisp, and Fudge Graham. Just looking at these, they definitely look appealing, and their numbers spoke for themselves. According to General Mills, Boppers had a 9% capture in the market within the first 90 days, which really shows how popular these things were at launch. Sadly for these granola-covered turds, the product was pulled after just 5 years. It's unknown why they halted production, but my theory is that maybe they were getting more popular than the original Nature Valley bars, but I guess the idea of killing your own product because it was more popular sounds kinda silly. In spite of the fact that it's been 30 years since they've been discontinued, on Nature Valley's website they still have a DIY recipe on how to make poppers at home, so gone but not forgotten.
Kellogg's Product 19.
Flaky,
Bumpy.
crispy, crunchy.
Wow. Tasty vitamins.
50 years? Okay, I'm an avid buyer of Kellogg's products, like I'm a huge enjoyer of Smart Start, but I have never heard of this. Product 19 to me sounds like the title of a creepypasta about a food product that just killed everyone and was sealed from the public, but nope, just plain old cereal. What does the 19 mean? Who knows? Product 19 was Kellogg's response to Total. The cereal consisted of cornflakes made from corn, oats, wheat, and rice, and basically it looks like your typical flaky cereal. But yeah, the cereal had multiple commercials from the 70s all the way to the 90s, and featured notable figures like former LA Rams player Tom Harmon. However, as time went on, Kellogg's introduced newer and more exciting cereals that overshadowed Product 19. As the consumer base started to dwindle, or die, by 2016, after over 50 years in shelves, Product 19 would be discontinued. Honestly, I can see why the boomers are so angry, like you take away their Kaboom cereal and now this? Life is tragic sometimes. Rip to a real one. Seeing the Choco Taco on this list feels surreal to me. It's one of those products you never expect to disappear, mainly because it was so ubiquitous. It's like if McDonald's decided to get rid of the McChicken, like what? You guys can't do that? If you never had a Choco Taco, first of all, my condolences. This was an ice cream dessert that had a taco-shaped waffle cone filled with vanilla ice cream layered with fudge and topped with peanuts on a chocolate coating. Like, it's such a genius idea, it even says so on the label. The Choco Taco was created by inventor Alan Drazen in 1983. Initially, he sold them from an ice cream truck operated by the Jack and Jill Company. After a few years, the product became a smash hit and soon appeared in supermarkets and convenience stores. By 1989, Good Humor would acquire the brand and it would be under the control of Unilever. Under new management, the dessert reached new levels of popularity by expanding into additional locations and being offered as a dessert item at Taco Bell for a limited time. Probably the best crossover ever. In 1993, Unilever acquired Klondike, and soon after, the Choco Taco fell under that brand, where it expanded to even more flavors including Keef chocolate and peanut butter. However, the late 2010s marked a steady decline in sales, and with the pandemic impacting manufacturing, Klondike made the controversial decision to discontinue the Choco Taco. According to a statement by Klondike on Twitter, over the last 2 years, we have experienced an unprecedented spike in demand across our portfolio and have had to make tough decisions to ensure the availability of our full portfolio nationwide. Many fans hope that this product could probably make a return. It seems unlikely that such an iconic treat can be gone forever. Perhaps there's a chance for this thing to return to production. Who knows? Before we continue guys, I'd like to give a quick shout out to my patrons. Your contribution really helps bring the content to life, and I cannot thank you guys enough. If you'd like to support me and the channel, you could always become a patron over on Patreon. Link will be in the description. Now, back to the video.
Go Tarts. Everything you love about your Pop-Tarts, now in a bar.
This shape of Pop-Tart is better for deep-throating it like a pelican and eating it all in... What? Now this is just a silly product if I'm being honest. Go-Tarts were essentially the same thing as a regular Pop-Tart, but in a bar form. Yeah, that's really about it. Based on the remaining reviews seen online, it was portable for the most part, not leaving crumbs compared to regular Pop-Tarts, but on the contrary, others say that it doesn't hit the same compared to regular Pop-Tarts, and to go with the latter instead. After only 2 years on shelves, the product was discontinued, leaving Go-Tarts as a short-lived attempt at reinventing a classic. They would try again at reinventing Pop-Tarts by, doing the mini ones, but I'm sure those aren't available no more. I could be wrong, but yeah, I haven't seen them in stores in a while.
Get out of my yard!
Jimmy? You're so old. There's not a lot of information for this bag of chips, but it is an interesting one. In 2010, Doritos launched the Degree Burn line of chips. Instead of one bag, they offered 3 bags, each with a different level of heat. You had First Degree Burn, a blazing jalapeno flavor that was mild enough for most spice enthusiasts, Second Degree Burn, a fiery buffalo flavor that's spicier than the last, and Third Degree Burn, a habanero flavored chip that some claim was insanely hot. Those who tried it said it took about 10 minutes for the burn to fade, which sounds about right for habanero. While the first degree was mild and tender for most spice enthusiasts, it was the second and third degree that did a number on some people. And while they did enjoy it, the Degree Burn line were only available for a limited time, and by the end of 2010, these fiery chips were gone from shelves.
Get your D&L! Get your D&L here!
You got a permit for all this?
Do I have a permit? I'm not real, you moron!
It's 7-Up, but upside down. Similarly to another 7-Up product I talked about, 7-Up Gold, D&L was yet another beverage that aimed to be the complete opposite of what the classic 7-Up is. From the liquid to the solid green color. It's green, so it means nature. This beverage was also meant to be a competitor to Mountain Dew out of all sodas. Taking into account that other citrus sodas like Mellow Yellow and Sundrop were far behind in the market share, it just seemed that D&L was heading into a lose-lose battle, and that's what would happen. By July of 2005, 7-Up's parent company at the time, Cadbury Schweppes America Beverages, announced that D&L would be discontinued by 2006, the reason being due to it not aligning with the 7-Up brand. Gee, no shit, just stick to what works.
Nobody eats a marathon bar quick, Claude.
Marathon lasts a good long time.
Now this is an oldie. Marathon bars were long braided caramels covered in chocolate, and that's kinda all there is to it. The product was pulled in 1981 and has been forgotten in the time. There isn't much information about these old-fashioned candies, as it had been over 40 years since they disappeared from store shelves, and I don't even think the internet was invented when these were discontinued, so the only mentions of this candy comes from people who remember trying them as kids. That doesn't mean they're entirely gone though, as over in the UK, the Cadbury company still makes their own version of marathon bars named Curly Whirlies, but they're only sold in the UK, so you better pay extra for shipping if you're a big fan of them.
Oh, no, he didn't. A vault will help you put Casanova in his place. It quenches and kicks. Vault drinks like a soda, kicks like an energy drink. Get to it!
Since the 1940s, Mountain Dew has maneuvered its way into becoming one of the most popular beverages of all time. Although it managed to find its extreme sports vibe in the 70s and 80s, I feel like it was the 2000s that Mountain Dew rose to prominence. This was largely due to the introduction of new flavors such as Code Red in 2001 and Baja Blast and Pitch Black in 2004, all of which have become staples of the Dew brand. Seeing the success of Mountain Dew, Coca-Cola decided to enter the citrus soda market, and in 2005, they would release Volt. This is despite already having another citrus alternative in Mellow Yellow. Oh, but it's newer. Okay, what made Volt different? Well, for starters, it had a significantly higher caffeine content, with 70 milligrams of caffeine per serving, nearly as much as a small Red Bull. This was emphasized by the drink's slogan, drinks like a soda, kicks like an energy drink. Volt was also available in unique flavors such as orange, lime, grape, and peach, some of which were reportedly exclusive to Coca-Cola Freestyle machines. The drink was test marketed in 10 states and was set to be released nationally in February 2006. It launched with a strong marketing campaign, including a commercial that aired during the pregame show of Super Bowl XL. You would expect that the drink would become a huge hit with such exposure, right? Well, not really. Unfortunately, this drink did not translate to sales, and throughout the years, Volt gradually faded into irrelevancy, and in 2011, Coca-Cola discontinued it in favor of reintroducing Mellow Yellow to a new audience, something they probably should have done in the first place. In hindsight, this drink was just doomed from the start. The reality is that Mountain Dew has such a strong hold on the citrus market that competing with them is an uphill battle. And with Mellow Yellow also being part of that category, it was just hurting both brands in the long run.
New Lifesavers holds candy. The big flavor of Lifesavers candy in delicious little bites.
So, no one thought this was a bad idea during testing? Okay then. Here we have Lifesaver Holes. As the name implies, these were marketed as the centerpiece of a Lifesavers candy, packaged in small plastic tubes with flip-top caps, which allowed consumers to enjoy them in a manner similar to Tic Tacs. Despite their familiar taste and texture, the size of Lifesaver Holes raised concerns, and in an unsurprising turn of events, the product was recalled in January of 1991, mere months after its release, due to a choking hazard. A spokesman for Nabisco revealed that 4 incidents involving children aged 2 and 3 as well as teenager were choking or gagging on the flip-top plastic caps, which led to the recall. Yeah, you heard that right. It was not the candy, it was the plastic container. I find that really hard to believe considering that these are small enough to get stuck in your esophagus, and I just feel like they wanted to stay face here. Nabisco added that they intend to relaunch the product within 90 days, but once those 90 days came and went, no relaunch ever occurred. One last thing, just like Incredibites, Pixar also produced a commercial for Lifesaver Holes. This commercial, however, featured more of the early Pixar art style using 3D animation. So yeah, that's kinda cool. Okay, now this was an iconic childhood staple of mine. Ouch bubblegum was a novelty gum that came in 3 flavors of strawberry, watermelon, and grape in a metal tin container. They also came wrapped in paper that looked like band-aids. I mean adhesive strips. While the gum was successful throughout most of its life, by the late 2000s, flavored gum would start to see a decline in popularity, and by the early 2010s, Ouch bubblegum alongside many sugar gums would be discontinued by this time.
Once an ugly, ugly person stumbled upon a box of screaming yellow Zonkers and stuffed some into his face. Well, they were great. Whoa, they was more than great. They was a magical butter-glazed popcorn snack.
This was Pop Chip for boomers. Screaming Yellow Zonkers were a distinctive popcorn snack introduced by Lincoln Snacks in 1969, a now defunct food manufacturer that specialized in popcorn and nut mixes, with these being their magnum opus. This kosher, sugar-glazed popcorn was notable for its vibrant yellow color and was packaged in black boxes with simple yet cheeky labeling, which really helped them stand out compared to the more formal packaging seen on other products of the time. Ironically enough, this product was marketed towards the youth baby boomers of the time. However, as consumer preferences evolved over the decades, its appeal diminished, and by 2007, the parent company of Zonkers, now called Lincoln Foods, would get purchased by ConAgra, leading to the product's sudden discontinuation, making Zonkers nothing more than a distant memory. They would make a brief return in 2012 as a limited edition product exclusively at Walgreens, but that was incredibly short-lived, and it was back to the vault for them.
There's gooey fruit filling. And Eggo Waf-fulls, a warm gooey part of this good breakfast.
Now before going deep into Waf-fulls, one of the line of commercials that I stumbled upon were the ones that featured a girl and her dad, where the dad tried stealing the daughter's Eggo. Now, as a kid, I thought to myself, oh, haha, he's not clever enough, better luck next time. But now as an adult with a fully developed frontal lobe, it made me realize this guy's probably paying for a mortgage and can't buy his own waffles. Tragic world we live in. Now what does that have to do with waffles? Absolutely nothing, I just wanted to bring that up. Wait, where were we? Oh yeah, these were Eggo Waf-fulls that came with a filling such as blueberry and strawberry. There also might have been an apple cinnamon flavor too, as featured at the end of the blueberry commercial, but I'm not sure if this came out or not because there's no solid evidence or pictures of it online. Except maybe for this. Sadly, Waf-fulls would be discontinued without any fanfare, possibly due to the product not having enough fans to continue distribution. There's not a lot of info regarding this, even looking for a specific date is kinda hard to pinpoint. Some sources say 2003, while others say 2008. It sounds like a huge gap, I know, but that just proves how niche this product was.
Tastes like Coke.
It tastes like Pepsi. Tastes like a diet soda.
Tastes different.
What they're tasting is a new cola called Jolt.
All the sugar and twice the caffeine. Described as the original energy drink, Jolt Cola was aimed to target the younger audience and was evidence based on its advertising and high sugar intake, which had twice as much caffeine as Coke and Pepsi. Jolt had 72 milligrams of caffeine, which was the maximum allowed by the USDA. While that might not sound like a lot compared to today's energy drinks, it was groundbreaking in an era before Red Bull and Monster dominated the market. Despite that, Jolt was seen as a counterculture drink and would be popular amongst the youth. While sales for Jolt were spectacular around its first year, by 1986, they began to decline. Even so, the brand managed to hold on to a niche market share, which is all that really matters if we're being honest. But by 1996, Red Bull was finally introduced in the US, and this would mark the beginning of Jolt's decline, as it made the outdated looking drink increasingly irrelevant. In 2005, Jolt would attempt to salvage itself by rebranding their drinks and introduce a new sealable can design, which resembled a battery. While the concept was modern and definitely innovative, this would be a devastating move for the company, as the cost of production for the cans would place a financial strain into the company's profits. And keep in mind, Jolt had a fraction of a percent by 2005, not that it had a large reach to begin with. Added with the looming recession and no changes in sales, in 2009, Jolt Cola Incorporated filed for bankruptcy, which led Jolt Cola's disappearance from shelves. Oh, so while editing this video, I was about to say that Jolt Cola made a brief comeback at Dollar General from 2017 to 2019, but it turns out they'll be making a comeback in 2025 with twice the original amount of caffeine. Who knows, maybe we can see Jolt make a resurgence in popularity. Time will tell. Try our new European-inspired Chantico, made from melted chocolate, available at Starbucks. This might be Starbucks' biggest flop, the Starbucks Chantico. Introduced in 2005, this drink was inspired by the rich, decadent hot chocolate served in European cafes. The Chantico came in a single 6-ounce cup and packed a staggering 390 calories and 20 grams of fat. You might be wondering, what's in this drink that makes it so diabetic? Well, according to CNN, the drink was described as, quote, drinking a melted truffle. So long story short, you were just drinking melted chocolate. As you can see in this image, the Chantico was served from melted cocoa and cream with a high cocoa butter content, served warm. Surprisingly, it wasn't that calorie count that was the reason for its failure, but rather it was the fact that the drink wasn't customizable and only available in just one size. And seeing that Starbucks was going into a more customizable future, this drink just felt like an odd one out. And so, after a year, the Chantico was pulled, becoming a forgotten piece of Starbucks history. Another failed Starbucks product.
Yeah. Yummers.
Instead of coffee, this Starbucks item was an iced slushy beverage that was available in 5 colors. The drink would be first unveiled in July of 2008 and would instead be available at 315 Starbucks locations across the LA and Southern California location for about $3 per 10-ounce cup. The product was praised for being a tasty treat, yet for the employees, it would be a nightmare. Just like the McFlurry, the Sorbetto required an expensive machine to make the beverage, which was pretty labor-intensive to clean, taking roughly 45 minutes to finish. The machines were also around the size of a Slurpee machine, so if you were a Starbucks with limited space, you might have some issues trying to fit this somewhere. Though the Sorbetto wasn't inherently a bad product, one of the primary reasons for the drink selling poorly was that the product was released during the midst of the global financial crisis. Another potential reason for its failure, and this is just my speculation, is that it really didn't feel like a Starbucks drink. The Sorbetto seems more fitting at a convenience store like 7-Eleven or Jamba Juice, rather than a premium coffee shop such as Starbucks.
Dry Bud Dry. It's cold filtered for smooth draft taste, and dry brewed for no aftertaste.
Now this was a true childhood staple. This and a whole carton of cigarettes. Cause I'm a man! Bud Dry was a Budweiser branded beer created by Anheuser-Busch. It was brewed using their patented dry brew method, which according to Chowhound resulted in a crisp, less sweet flavor without an overwhelming aftertaste. Although at the time Budweiser and Bud Light were among 2 of the most popular beers, dry beer would see a rise in popularity during the 90s. This is all thanks to the introduction of Asahi Super Dry in 1987. This beer would be so popular amongst consumers, it made dry beer the most popular formula in Japan that it eventually became Asahi's flagship beverage, replacing its predecessor Asahi Gold. Personally, I'm a Sapporo guy, but whatever. Anyways, AB would hop on the dry beer bandwagon. Though not drive it, because drinking and driving is bad. And so in response, Bud Dry was born. At launch, Bud Dry would have a strong start, having a bunch of ads, including one for the Super Bowl in 1991. Despite its strong marketing campaign and the hype surrounding dry beers, the beverage was not really received well by customers, claiming that it had a watery aftertaste. Over time, the marketing push slowed down, and by the mid-1990s, Anheuser-Busch shifted its focus to promote its newest beverage, Bud Ice. Let's see what people had to say about this. It's a beer. Not a good one by any stretch of the imagination. It has a decent first flavor, but the aftertaste is abysmal. Color? Yellow gold. Will it get you drunk? If that's the goal, yes.
Well, this is no myth. Starbucks is selling a unicorn Frappuccino. It's kind of pretty too.
Did this really come out in 2017? Has it really been that long? God, I'm getting old. Here we have, in my opinion, one of the most visually striking drinks I've ever seen, the Unicorn Frappe. This was released back in April of 2017 for a limited time and was meant to capture the minds of teenagers and young adults, particularly the Instagram selfie crowd. Coming from me, I can't take selfies of food. I always end up eating my food before taking the photo. Check out my empty dish, guys. According to Starbucks, the Unicorn Frappe was made with a sweet dusting of pink powder blended into a cream frappe with mango syrup and layered with a pleasantly soured blue drizzle topped with vanilla whipped cream and a sprinkle of sweet pink and sour blue powdered topping. This creation came at the height of the unicorn foods trend. What are unicorn foods, you may ask? Well, basically anything colorful and whimsical. We're talking Barbie's dream house mixed with My Little Pony. Based on people who tried it, as you drink it, the frappe will start off sweet and fruity, where it will slowly transition into a pleasantly sour taste. So, while on paper, it does sound indulgent, it's not something you would eat on a daily. A venti-sized unicorn frappe packed over 76 grams of sugar and clocked in at around 500 calories. So, for reference, it's almost equivalent to 2 cans of Coke. While it did receive some criticism for its high sugar content, it's not as bad as what we're about to talk about next.
Delicious boost of plant-based caffeine from guarana and green coffee extract. Enjoy these and more when you join Panera's Unlimited Sip Club.
Let me just say, I'm surprised this lasted as long as it did because this was absolutely overkill, and this is coming from someone who drinks a lot of coffee. Many of you may remember this product when it was on the market and the controversy surrounding it. Honestly, you can make an entire video on this one drink alone, but I'll try to summarize everything here. In April of 2022, Panera announced their new charged lemonades alongside a new subscription service, the Unlimited Drink Club, allowing customers to enjoy unlimited coffees, teas, lemonades, and fountain beverages for a monthly fee. And damn, let me just say, I saved a lot of money with this. As someone who used to work close to Panera, I would stop by before work and pick up a coffee, and I think I saved about $70 a month just on coffee alone. The service just came in clutch, I'm not gonna lie. The charged lemonade was marketed as a natural energy drink made from guarana and green coffee extract, and it came in 3 flavors: strawberry lemon mint, mango yuzu citrus, and Fuji apple cranberry. Despite these refreshing fruity names, the nutritional facts of the charged lemonade were alarming. A standard 20-ounce serving of both strawberry lemon mint and Fuji apple cranberry contained a staggering 66 grams of sugar each, while mango yuzu citrus had an astonishing 83 grams. On top of this sugar overload, each drink packed over 260 milligrams of caffeine in a medium-sized serving, equivalent to over 3 cups of coffee, and if we're talking about large size... Upon release, charged lemonade became a trendsetter. Other chains like Dunkin' soon introduced their own energy-boosted drinks, such as Sparked Energy. However, many professionals in the medical field raised concerns about this beverage. Firstly, the caffeine content in charged lemonade was significantly higher than that of most standard drinks. While marketed as an energy drink, many customers underestimated just how much caffeine they were consuming. Another alarming aspect was its accessibility. Remember the Unlimited Drink Club? Well, that was part of that promotion as well. Essentially, the only thing standing between you and a heart attack was your own restraint. Shockingly, not everyone had that restraint, and soon people would report side effects, including rapid heartbeat, jitteriness, muscle tremors, insomnia, and in the most extreme case, even death. Reports indicate that at least 2 deaths have been linked to Panera's charged lemonade. The first death occurred in October 2023 when 21-year-old Sarah Katz, a student at the University of Pennsylvania, suffered cardiac arrest just hours after consuming the beverage. Katz's family subsequently filed a lawsuit against Panera, claiming that she had a pre-existing heart condition known as QT syndrome 1, which causes fast and chaotic heartbeats. Because of this condition, she would avoid energy drinks, and the family argued that the company failed to warn consumers about the potential risk of the drink. The next fatality would happen just 2 months later in Fleming Island, Florida. In this case, 42-year-old Dennis Brown experienced cardiac arrest after consuming 3 charged lemonades. Brown had an unspecified chromosomal deficiency disorder and high blood pressure, which led him to avoid energy drinks, and presumably he might have not known this was in fact the latter. With the 2 deaths already linked to this issue, many on social media began to meme this drink, calling it the lemonade that kills you. Panera incited damage control, a little too late by the way, by reducing the caffeine content. However, by that time, the public was already well aware of the drink's content, and the charged lemonade was ultimately discontinued in May of 2024.
Aspen is here, crisp and crystal clear. The new soft drink with just a snap. A clean, fresh snap of apple.
I knew a dog named Aspen. Here's a photo of him. Anyways, Aspen Soda was a beverage created by PepsiCo in 1978 and was marketed as a lightly carbonated soda with a snap of apple. The commercials drew inspiration from the scenic views of Aspen, Colorado, hence the name, and featured actors meant to portray, I don't know, rich fancy people, and they were seen indulging the soda while they froze in the wilderness. I love how every aspect of this commercial is fake, from the people to the snow. Despite the marketing effort, Aspen Soda didn't catch on and was discontinued after just 4 years on shelves. Interestingly, only a few years later, in 1986, Pepsi released another apple-flavored soda under the now-defunct Slice brand, calling it Apple Slice. But that didn't last either, being discontinued in 1988. Personally I'm not a huge fan of apple soda. I think the only apple-flavored soda available has to be Manzanita del Sol, but even that doesn't tickle my fancy. I think I'd rather have real apples, you know?
You know, Wendy's Superbar is great for families because there's something for everyone. Like our fresh salads from our garden spot, Mexican food, and delicious pasta with your choice of sauce. There's even dessert.
If you're under 30, you might not even know what this is. The idea of a salad bar at Wendy's seems more fitting for a place like Pizza Hut, and even today, I can't imagine this concept working at Wendy's anyways. Don't get me wrong, I love Wendy's, their 4 for $4 is arguably the best fast food offer right now, but the thought of maintaining a clean salad bar across 7,000 locations just sounds like a complete nightmare. Back in 1979, Wendy's was still a relatively young company, having been in operation for only a decade. To stand out in the fast food industry, they introduced the salad bar, becoming the first national fast food chain to do so for a casual mainstream audience. Initially, it started out as a traditional salad bar, featuring fresh greens, vegetables, dressing, and toppings. The chain expanded the concept into an all-out buffet, now named the Superbar, which featured 35 options and was divided into 3 sections. You had the classic selection of fresh greens, vegetables, and toppings. You also had Mexican Fiesta, which included seasonal ground beef, refried beans, shredded cheese, salsa, and tortillas for taco making, as well as pasta, which offered dishes like spaghetti, fettuccine, and Alfredo. Best of all, the Superbar offered all-you-can-eat meals for just $3, a price that remained consistent throughout its run. That really got me wondering what sales were like for the chain then. Did burgers remain their best seller, or did the Superbar steal their spotlight? Because let's be honest, $3 for unlimited pasta and salad sounds like a steal. It's the ultimate post-workout meal. As great as this deal was at the time, by the mid-1990s, the fad for the Superbar had started waning. This shift, combined with the high operating costs associated with monitoring, cleaning, and consistently refilling the buffet, made it no longer profitable, and by 1998, Wendy's axed the Superbar in favor of focusing on their core menu items. Some locations would keep the salad bar for a little longer, but by 2006, they were completely phased out. Remember when Wendy's had a sunroof? Yeah, that was cool.
Alright. All new Coca-Cola Spiced with an unexpected burst of raspberry and spice flavors.
Ending off this video is the most recent discontinued item on the list, Coca-Cola Spiced. Compared to several flavor varieties, this one is the most interesting because it was intended to be a new pillar of the Coca-Cola line of flavors, similar to what Coke Life tried to do. The drink was marketed as a raspberry spice drink and came in both a regular and zero sugar option. According to Shakir Moin, Coca-Cola's chief marketing officer, the drink was designed for a newer generation as they claim consumers' taste palates have evolved, and that this was seen as an opportunity to introduce Coke to a new generation of consumers. Yeah, totally, because Coke was definitely going out of style. It's not like it was a global market leader or anything. No, this is just a small company owned by 2 brothers, Coke and Cola. This is just a monologue. Upon its release in February 2024, Coca-Cola Spice received a mixed bag of reviews. Some likened its taste to cough syrup, while others found it reminiscent to that of cleaning solution. A less than appetizing taste, to say the least. This lukewarm introduction and reception of Coke Spice negatively impacted its momentum. Additionally, several limited time flavors released under the Coke Creations label, such as marshmallow, Oreo, and even AI flavored. This resulted in the drink getting lost in the shuffle. After 6 months on store shelves, Coca-Cola announced the discontinuation of the product, with plans to find a new permanent flavor in 2025. As of now, it is highly likely that this product is no longer available in stores, and if you do come across it, chances are it would likely be the last time you'll see it. Well, there you have it, guys. That was episode 6 of Discontinued Nostalgia. Be sure to stay tuned as I have many more episodes in production already. Just gotta edit a little faster, I guess. Or maybe find an editor. Might have to look into that. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe, as we are just 3,000 subs away from hitting 100,000 subs. I just graduated this year, and just having another milestone under my name would really make this year a whole lot better. Who knows? With a certain Switch 2 on the horizon, maybe, just maybe, we could do a giveaway. Fingers crossed, no promises. But anyways, my name is Luis, and I am out.